Welcome. Sorry, I don't want to. Hello. Well, I'm presenting.
Hello.
I don't know, it's like it's Gardener's World or something. Hello. We're going to learn about daffodils today.
All right, Alan Titchmarsh,
No,
keep your knickers on.
There's nothing daffodil or flower style about what we're going to talk about today because it's Extreme Rules, the pay-per-view, the WWE event that takes place tomorrow. We're doing our live stream. Oh, we've got someone in chat already, and it's Rodders. Hi, Rodders. Thanks for joining, mate. Hope you're well. Couple of just trying to think if we've got any sort of urgent business to attend to. Nothing much. There's not going to be an update regarding the prediction scores today because Jason's at a different location, a secret location.
Well, I've got a rough idea. I don't know what we scored last time, but I think I remember. Don't worry. Don't sit there estimating it. But okay. We'll just wait till next month or whenever. And Anyway.
So you're winning overall, or you won SummerSlam?
One solitary point.
Oh, I was in the lead before SummerSlam and all.
Yeah.
Jonathan Ring asks, Jason farted yet? Don't forget, is that Patty's? Oops, that's the secret location. Is it the secret location? He's got to go out into the garden to do that, remember?
Oh, yeah, Ringo being here, I wonder if he's seen me do his gaming video that he wanted to do, because he was the one that suggested it.
Oh, that PlayStation 2 one was...
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So no results for the SummerSlam predictions today, but we'll do them and the Extreme Rules results no doubt next month. Next month, by the way, it's Crown Jewel. That looks to be on Thursday, so I think it's going to be me and Rach were talking about it earlier on. I think Wednesday, October the 20th, we'll aim to do a live show.
Yeah,
because I like to do the live show the previous evening. So, so that's Crown Jewel, but let's worry about that nearer the time. Jonathan, I'll take him out of the panel. Yeah. Ray, I'm surprised Ray hasn't asked me to mute him already, to be perfectly honest. And he saw it. It was a good one, Jason, says Ringo. Yeah. So there you go.
Cool.
I didn't know you're taking requests, Jace, but
okay. That I am.
So right. So Extreme Rules panel. I've got the usual faces with me. I'll introduce them just however they come. To my right is Rach Kappa. Hi, Rach.
Hiya.
You all right?
Hi.
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Thanks for joining us again. Hope you've been enjoying generally wrestling as a rule. I mean, we don't really talk about AEW, but I know you're a fan, Rach, and I know they've been doing some good things lately. So, hope you're enjoying that and looking forward to Extreme Rules. Rodders says, "Would you ever do a watch along?" Theoretically, but
yeah, we could.
I mean, Crown Jewel might be a possibility because that won't start particularly late, will it?
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't know. I'll have to. I'm not gonna. Well, I could get it up on screen, but then I'm liable to get my channel taken down, aren't I?
Yeah.
If I'm screen sharing a WWE pay-per-view, that's. I don't know if there's like you need certain. I know there's ways around it, but I think it might be a bit difficult.
We could be watching it and not necessarily show the pictures, though.
Yeah, I know. I've seen other people do that, and you can sort of vaguely hear it in the background. I mean, I think Cultaholic do something quite similar to that. Obviously, they're not allowed to show the thing, so it's possible, Rodders. I'll have to give that some thought.
Good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if there was one, it'd be preferably for me. It'd be one that started and ended at a reasonable time. Hi, Ryan Milky 14. Thanks for coming in, mate. Nice to see you. So, continuing introducing the panel, we've got Rach, and we've also got all the way from Canada, the Night Owl Victoria. Hi, Vicky.
Hey.
How you doing, Vicky? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad.
Good. You looking forward to tomorrow's show?
Absolutely. As of late, seeing some stuff on SmackDown and Raw, it's kind of been picking up a little bit.
Raw's made. I wouldn't say it's sort of back to being brilliant, but I think there's been improvements there, aren't there? From what I've been told and what I've seen. Are you live streaming on your channel today as well, Vicky?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the wrestling one as well? The general wrestling chat.
Yeah, so, wrestling chat.
But bloody, I'll be burnt out by it. I would. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah,
just where it goes.
Beardo's in. Oh, look, here's Jimmy with his monthly oiled up spandex chat. Is that your long delayed response to my joke in the Santa Banter group, Beardsley? No one reacted to that. All right, gutted, because Beardo, God love him, he seems to put up the same video every month on his channel. Hey, I'm Beardo. I'm a variety streamer on Twitch. And here's all my tips on how to succeed on. And then like a month later, he'll do the same thing. Hello, me again. Here's some more tips. These tips are the same as the ones I gave you last month, but it's
I
thought it might be a reaction, Beardsley. Thank you. But you're lovely to see you, by the way, Dale. We don't often get grace with your presence anymore, as you're too much of a big Twitcher to hang around with the likes of us. I mean, this is streaming on Twitch. In fact, no, you're watching on YouTube. But my Twitch channel is nothing to write home about. I'm interrupting myself for introducing the panel here. I know Jason's been dying for his introduction. So here he is, live from his secret location. Thankfully, he's not wearing his Logan Paul's granddad hat today. So that I can't take the mick out of him for that. What a shame. But here he is, not suitable for mom. Hiya, Jace. Good evening.
Hello.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, cheers.
Good. How's I don't want to go on too much about general wrestling because you and Vicky will obviously be talking about that. But have you been enjoying the general product recently?
It's getting better. I'm way behind on AEW. Months.
That's. I mean, I'm not seeing anywhere near as enough AEW at the moment because Dynamite and Rampage as well, the newest show. I think they both. They're stacking those cards every week, aren't they? They had. It was Danielson versus Omega the other day, which apparently was a 5-star match. And
there was a debut on Rampage last night.
Right,
It was Homicide?
Oh, yeah, Homicide. Yeah, Homicide. He's been TNA and Ring of Honor and things like that, what match have they got? They've got quite a big match coming. I think it's Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole. I think it's on Dynamite or Rampage this week. Sorry, I don't want to be talking about. I try not to go to non-WWE stuff, but I just thought I'd have a little bit. I don't want to exhaust all of Vicky's topics either, so I better not go on and on about AEW because you'll be talking about them later on. So if you want to drop your link in the chat at any point for YouTube and Twitch or whatever, Victoria, then feel free. So if you want more wrestling chat after this, then make sure you watch The Night Owl on YouTube or Twitch later on. Just look at the chat, Ryan. It's cool, though. I know what happened, so you can all spoil away. Rodders, Dave Meltzer's star rated is the most pointless thing in wrestling. It's kind of what it's associated with within it. Like you think of Dave Meltzer, you think of like some guy sat there at his computer giving 5 stars out to. Well, he loves Japanese wrestling, doesn't he? So it's often Japanese stuff that gets all these good ratings. And
it's like those.
Beardo says, I've dipped my toe back into the wrestling, and to be honest, it's in a much better spot. AEW certainly. AEW's on fire. Smackdown is brilliant. Raw is meh, but spot on. I will totally agree with all that, Beardsley. Definitely. There we are. Look, if you're not subbed to the Night Owl, make sure that you do so. She will be talking about all things wrestling, and it's an exciting time to talk about wrestling, I think, at the moment. Well, I've only seen one of them, and I deliberately because it's the one I really wanted to see, but I'm waiting for the rest of them to come on. It'll be all 4, the streaming service, but Dark Side of the Ring, I made sure I watched the Plane Ride from Hell episode on YouTube last week.
Oh, it's on all 4.
The first 2 series. Yeah, the first 2 series, Rach, they're on all 4, and presumably they'll have this third probably after it's finished in America and Canada and everything. So, but I have seen one of the episodes. I think they're all available on YouTube until they get taken down, and then some other account just puts them back up again. But so you can catch right up with Dark Side of the Ring, even though it's not finished as such yet in North America. But the Dark Side of the Ring episode was interesting. I wonder if Vicky and Jason might have some stuff to say about that later on. It has been in the news a lot, hasn't it? About the plane ride from hell and certain people involved in that. Rodder says NXT 2.0 has been great so far. Also, I've not bothered. I've not seen it yet. That's a bit shameful. I don't know. I think my love for NXT, I think it might have kind of waned now. Really.
It's just staff calling it 2.0, in my opinion. But there we are.
Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, just it's a total change, and I'm sure there's some good stuff on it, and it's good that newer wrestlers are getting a chance and everything. But what I can't be doing with is all these stupid name changes. Some of the names, it's like, I could go to my toilet right now and shit out a better name than what some of these so-called WWE creative people are giving. I mean, there's a woman on the show, a new woman's wrestler, and I think she's going to host some talk show called Lash Legend. It's like, what a shit name that is. That's like a bloody PlayStation 1 create a wrestler name when you can't be asked to think anything better. Oh yeah, that Lash Legend. Yeah. What crap? Anyway, sorry. I'll been to the plane ride from hell on YouTube. Wild stuff there. Really. I mean, I'd heard all about all the stories and everything years back, but it was interesting to watch that. Bloody hell, I can't even read that username there, but it's someone who says, I think Roman Reigns will lose versus Balor because there's no way Reigns is dropping the title to Lesnar. Come on. Yeah, there we are. Jason's pronounced your name perfectly there. NXT's pointless, in my opinion, says Ryan. Yeah, well, I don't know if pointless is what I'd call it, but it's like how it's changed and like all those sackings didn't help. When everyone got laid off like a few months ago, like guys who'd only like been sort of title holders like a few weeks previous, like Bronson Reed. He was for his size, for his girth, he was a really good acquisition. And why did they get rid of him? It doesn't make any sense.
That's what we said about a lot.
Even if they moved him up to the main roster, and maybe they probably would have pissed about with him on Raw or SmackDown, but just to let him go like that, and he'd been North American champion only a few weeks prior.
They probably give him some generic name like the Kangaroo Kid or something.
Well, I mean, Bronson Reed was his generic name. His real name's I heard it recently.
Yeah, but I mean, it's better than what they
Jonah. Is Jonah something? Possibly, maybe.
Yeah, but even Ruby Soho was saying when they interviewed her after she left, which we knew her as Ruby Riott, she was saying she doesn't even know why she was let go. She wasn't given a reason at all, and when she tried to talk to Vince about it, he wouldn't talk to her.
Well, no. I mean,
so
this is baffling.
Stuff.
But all those NXT guys, a lot of them they were either doing really good things on NXT or They could have been called up to Raw or SmackDown. And I know that's often a double-edged sword, but it's still technically a promotion. You're then going to get a pay rise and everything. But hello, Josh. Sorry, did I say hello to you, Joshua? Sorry, Joshua. I can't remember if I said hello to you. I'll say it again. Hello.
Hello.
There we are. Right. So a lot to talk about regarding AEW NXT, and I thought we could have a little bit of a general chat about it because we're not doing any prediction results or anything, but we are mainly going to be focusing on tomorrow's Extreme Rules. That's his real name, Jermaine Haley. Right. I thought his like normal ring name that might have been his real name was Jonas, but I'm probably wrong. But, Jermaine Haley. Thank you for that, Ryan Milkey. Right. So Extreme Rules takes place tomorrow. Rachel have all the matches listed. So let's get cracking with it, Rach. You can take them in whatever order you think best.
Okay, well, the first match I've got is Liv Morgan versus Carmela.
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
This sounds like a TV match that like they might put on the show to fill some time.
Yeah.
But if they start overrunning in time, they'll just cut it, and they do that when like they're overrunning. If like someone does a promo that goes on a bit,
be on the pre-show or something.
Yeah, could end up on the pre-show. It does sound like it's possible pre-show fodder. But Liv Morgan versus Carmela. Well, Rach, have you got anything to say about this?
Not really.
No.
I haven't been watching. What? I know. Are they both on Smackdown, aren't they?
They'll be SmackDown. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say Liv Morgan.
Okay, Rachel's Liv Morgan. Yeah, it doesn't really bear much analysis, this one, does it really? Rodders says Liv Morgan to win. Ryan says Morgan to win. Ryan also thinks it'll be a kick-off match, very possibly Ryan, yeah. Vicky, anything to say about this one?
I'm gonna say Liv too, but only for the fact that I just don't like Carmela, and I agree with Ryan that I think it'll be the kickoff match on the pre-show.
Yeah, but if it's not, if they put some, because sometimes they'll put like a title, like a tag team or US title match or something on the pre-show, and then often like a sort of throwaway match like that, if it might get I wouldn't be surprised if anything overruns, which is possible. Yeah. Then it'll get canned. I mean, I won't lose any sleep over it if it gets axed.
No.
Yeah.
But for me, it sounds like a pre-show match, but it doesn't sound like a very good one. It's like how's that? Because the whole point of the kickoff, it's like it's free all over, YouTube and the free network and everything else. But it's like it's meant to sort of tempt you into subbing to the network. Essentially buying the pay-per-view. Well, why is Liv Morgan versus Carmela going to be a good advert for the pay-per-view, really? Well, I don't give a shit about it. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, so you chose Liv as well, did you?
Yes.
Vicky?
Yeah.
Right, so 2 for Liv. Is Jason going to make it 3 for Liv Morgan?
Yeah, I'm not really fussed about it. I mean, both are all right wrestlers, blah. They've shown they can go, but they're both pretty directionless right now, so... who do you go for? I'll go for Liv.
Okay, 3 for Liv. Joshua, Liv Morgan don't care about this match. No idea why it's on pay-per-view. Rodder says it's not on pay-per-view. It's on the free pre. So that's confirmed that it's going to be a kick-off match. Fair enough. I still think that's daft. They might as well either save it and just put it as a 3-minute thing in the pay-per-view, or if there's no time for it, then just leave it till SmackDown the following week.
Yeah.
Ryan, it'll probably start from the desk with the guests and go from there, keeping it extreme. Yeah, not all the matches on Extreme Rules are necessarily Extreme Rules, though, are they?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I mean,
think there's only one this year.
Yes, yeah, I believe so. I mean, obviously, we'll get to all the matches and the various stipulations. I've got to pick someone for the. I'm just going to be contrary here, and probably wrong, probably bad idea because sounds like Jason's now overtaken me on the leaderboard. But I'm going to be a bit cavalier and say Carmela to win. But I really, really couldn't give a fuck. Not at all. Just don't give a shit.
Yeah,
it's
Oh, sorry. Go on. Jason's got more to talk about regarding Carmela.
I was just going to say with Carmela, she's been given the Tossy Biscuit makeover, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Just like they did with that Australian woman whose name I can't remember.
I don't know.
Kylie Minogue.
No, close to that.
You know the one I mean.
Tony Storm?
I can't.
Tony Storm?
No, it was a while back.
Muriel's wedding. I don't know what you're on about.
I can't remember her name. Something like Belinda or something like that.
Belinda Carlisle?
She's not Australian. She's American.
But that proves the point. It was so unforgettable. Or forgettable, I should say.
Yeah, hence, I don't know why the hell you even brought it up. Oh.
Yeah, whatever. Next.
Oh dear.
Oh boy.
I give up.
Oh, Josh said Emma.
Oh, Emma.
Oh,
yeah,
that's it. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Tennille Dashwood. Yeah.
That was Josh. Joshua.
Yeah, I think
Emelina or whatever it was.
Yeah, well, yeah, but she never really debuted with that. They just had a load of vignettes for her, didn't they? And, yeah, it fizzled out. Right. Okay, fine. Right, moving on. Bloody hell, we spent way too long on that. Next match, please, Rach.
Well, the second match I've got is the WWE Smackdown Tag Team titles. The Usos versus the Street Profits.
Okay, right. SmackDown Tag Team titles. Jimmy and Jay Uso defending against the Street Profits. I keep forgetting Street Profits are on SmackDown. But obviously, of course they are. I'm assuming they moved during the last draft. The draft that will have taken place before Crown Jewel, won't it? 'Cause that's like
believe so. Yeah,
early October, I think. So Crown Jewel's a bit of a funny kind of standalone pay-per-view, really. Anyway, so I don't know if the draft will make a lot of difference to that show. We'll have to wait and see. But Usos versus Street Profits. Rach, have you got in this one?
Well, they haven't held the titles for that long, so I haven't heard much from Street Profits. So I'm going to say the Usos.
Usos to win, says Rach. Yeah, good point. I think with the whole bloodline thing and Roman Reigns, I quite like the Street Profits. I preferred them when they're on NXT, but that's going back a fair bit now. But fair enough. Vicky, who have you got in this one?
I do have the Usos as well, only because just recently the Street Profits have just come back, so I don't think they're going to win it yet, but I see them winning it off of the Usos eventually. But it's not going to be tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, sounds like Usos for Vicky as well. Sorry, so let me just scroll back up. I'm missing a bit of chat. Rodders, I think I maybe missed it. About the pre-show match, yeah. And Rodders says Usos are retaining Joshua. Usos because of the bloodline. Ryan thinks it'll be Street Profits win via DQ. Okay. And Rodders says acknowledge your tribal chief. Yeah, the thing is, my tribal chief's Jason Clow, and I never want to acknowledge him.
Wow.
Yeah. Roman Reigns is head of the table. I'm head of the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Indeed. And to the head of the bathroom we go to Jason to ask him his pick for the SmackDown Tag Team titles.
I think pretty much what everyone else has said. Usos haven't had it that long. Street Profits have only really come back. They need a big build-up before any title changes. So, I think the Usos as well. And they got, like you say, got the whole bloodline thing going on, which is still very strong. So it makes sense to keep it that way.
Yeah.
So Usos.
So three for the Usos then. Yeah. I've got nothing really to add or to disagree or anything regarding what people have said. I think keeping the tag straps on the Usos is probably the better idea, from a storyline standpoint. I mean, it was, you'd have to say it's maybe a slightly bit controversial that they keep giving all these chances to Mr. DUI in that team who, can't seem to go out for a drive without having a couple of pints at the same time. But
whilst driving.
Well, yeah, indeed, yeah. So, but that's not, that's not anything to do with what's on-screen storylines and things like that. And I like the Usos as a team. I like the bloodline. Obviously, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. As far as I'm concerned, this is Roman Reigns' run of his career for me. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
He's the one, he's like one of the very few proper assets WWE have got left, really. Because WWE have made shambles of pushing other people and failing to, and there's been all these cuts. Some real proper future stars have just been cut.
Yeah.
And there's, we've had like recent former world champions get fired, get released as well. Your likes of Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. I mean, if you'd have said like even a year ago, like, oh, they'll have been released like this time next year, you would have said, nah, of course they won't. Because they're both like main event guys. But Roman Reigns, he's the man, and deservedly so. But we can talk more about Reigns later on. But yeah, I'm going to go with the consensus here and say Usos to retain.
Uso.
Good shout, Ryan. Usos will retain with a DQ. The tag match. It's a normal tag team match as far as I know. Whether they'll change it on the night, they may do, but we'll have to see. Rodders, the only release that bothered me was Bray Wyatt. Yeah. I don't know. It was all the NXT ones that I thought was bad, just because they're supposed to be. I know it's like NXT. It was originally a developmental thing, but then under Triple H, it became kind of like this developmental / indie wrestling hybrid sort of thing. Because they have. Obviously, like you've got guys on NXT like Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly, I suppose, who are quite sort of veteran, really, in a way. They're not youngsters particularly.
No.
Bobby Fish got cut.
Adam
Cole left. I think he was offered a fairly good deal to stay, but I think he was probably worried about how his prospects on the main roster would have been, and. Plus he can go to AEW and work with be with his wife more and work with. Are they married? Him and Britt Baker. They're in a relationship anyway, and hang out with his old pals, the Young Bucks and what have you. But it was it was all those NXT cuts a few months ago, and I thought that was, it was crazy. All that Disney sacked over 20,000 people during the pandemic in the last 2 years. It's just. Oh, blimey. I suppose some people would hear about that. I mean, you've heard about it, but sacked and sacked released. Yeah, okay. Right, so next match, please, Rachel.
Well, the next match is actually the Roman Reigns match, which is an Extreme Rules match for the Universal Championship. Roman Reigns versus the Demon, Finn Balor.
Right, excellent. Yes. So, Universal title. So we can continue talking about Roman Reigns because we're going to talk about his match for the Universal Championship of the Universe against the Demon of all people, Finn Balor. Rach, what do you reckon to this one?
I don't really want to say it, but I can't see Finn winning this because they've already been promoting the Crown Jewel match between Roman and Brock. So,
true.
I know they're doing that to sell tickets, but it's annoying, isn't it, when they do that when they make a main event before the next pay-per-view's finished, and then it's like just a big old signpost. It's a big spoiler. Yeah.
I kind of wish they left the demon part out of it because when Finn's the demon, he's undefeated. But
technically, he's not I think the only time he got defeated while he was the Demon was against Samoa Joe some years back.
Yeah.
I think on the main roster, the Demon's undefeated, but we haven't seen the Demon on like Raw or SmackDown for ages, have we?
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Roman, even though I don't want to, but.
Well, I mean, it doesn't mean you're less of a Finn Balor fan. If you just look at it from a realistic point of view, I totally get it, Rach. Ryan, Roman wins, unfortunately. Rodders, Roman to retain. I want my Heyman on a pole match.
Need a bloody big pole.
As soon as I read that, I got like this weird kind of vision of Paul Heyman pole dancing in my mind.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Chorus.
Yeah. Get a good mental picture of that.
Get it out of my head.
Naked or anything. I just saw him sort of riding on a pole in like his suit. Anyway, right. Moving on. That's past the brain bleach and everything. But Vicky, if you can control yourself after the thoughts of pole dancing Paul Heyman, you can tell us your thoughts on Roman Reigns versus.
I'll tell you what, if you mention that to him, he would probably wet himself laughing.
Yeah.
Well,
while I go Eve.
They said, "Oh, that's the idea for the next pay-per-view."
Yeah.
They've
Okay.
had stranger things on the pole, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was me. I just had as soon as I saw the word pole, it just I automatically went pole dancing.
Yes.
I don't know. I've been friends with Wayne too long, I think.
It shows where your mind's at, Jimmy.
Yeah.
When they said
WCW, weren't it?
Yeah.
They did the Viagra on the pole, didn't they?
They've done all sorts on a pole, yeah. Viagra on a pole. They did Judy Bagwell on it had to be on a forklift at that match.
I'll leave it till after the stream. I've got an anecdote for you.
Oh,
okay.
Oh God.
Yeah.
When they said,
sorry, Vicky, for saying this, but Jason, if it's a wrestling one, why don't you save it for Vicky's? No, he needs to subject me to it. I can tell. Like he needs me to hear it as well. Right. Oh, right, Vicky. Demon versus Reigns.
Well, see, I just have to make my comment about the pole match, and Rodgers just said it. Heyman hanging in the center like Money in the Bank in a cage. Now, we've seen a cage above the ring type matches and whatever else. I think that would be perfect. Hang him there, and have Roman Reigns win the match, and instead of letting him out, walk out of the ring and just leave him there. But anyways, I think, I hate to say it, I would love to see Finn win this. And I go back to the comment that was made about we don't really want to see Roman lose against Brock.
No.
But, I don't really want to see what Brock would do to Finn Balor. He would snap the guy in two. And like you said, I mean, it's a hard one for me because the Demon, like you said, is mainly undefeated except when he was defeated by Samoa Joe. So, well, I don't. No, I'm gonna go with Roman.
I thought you might.
Roman Reigns. Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 for Roman Reigns to retain. I see what you're saying, Vicky. I've got some thoughts about what potentially could happen, but we'll hear from Jason first. Jason, this one.
It is a tough one to decide on. Logic would say Roman, wouldn't it? Really. I like to see Finn win it because it's been so long since he last held that title, and he didn't hold it for long anyway.
Yeah.
One day was it, and then had to give it up. Like that. You could have Finn against Brock, I suppose, at Crown Jewel, but I don't see that happening myself. Well, they're both baby faces as well. Brock's a big baby now, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, at the moment, as much as he can be, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh no, he seemed to be quite into it when he returned. What was it, Money in the Bank?
Yeah. No. But Brock's. I think you're always going to see Brock as a bit of a bad guy, just because he's Brock. But anyway,
he's been lovable Brock now. He can still snap you in half, but he'll high five you now before he does it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I know you're not a fan of Lesnar. Yeah.
I really don't know. I can see perhaps this continuing afterwards. If it had been an Extreme Rules match, I could visualize the Demon losing the plot and beating the crap out of Roman, and Roman win by DQ.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not a factor anymore. Let's go for Roman, sorry. Right, I don't want him to win, but
3 for Reigns. I'm fine with him beating Finn Balor. I like Finn Balor. I always have done. But Finn Balor to me, and it's not his fault. Obviously, it's WWE's fault since ever since he originally came up from NXT, he's not been pushed as a true main eventer. It looked like he was going to be, but then, losing the Universal title, having to give it up one day after winning it. I mean, that probably put him in Vince McMahon's bad books, albeit it was out of his control for a long time, really. And since then, he's sort of flip-flopped between the mid-card and a kind of, occasional main event sort of position, but, kind of just someone to be sort of fodder for bigger guys, bigger main eventers. But like I said earlier, love what Roman Reigns is doing. Love the bloodline. Love his association with Heyman. I think all that stuff is absolutely great. So that's mainly why I would have no problem with him beating even the Demon, because the Demon has only lost once to Samoa Joe, but if he's going to lose to anyone else, then it's going to be to Roman Reigns. I could see it, actually. I don't think it'd end in a like a pinfall or anything. I could see it ending kind of like a sort of referee stoppage sort of thing, really.
Yeah.
This just so that it protects the Demon character a little bit.
Yeah.
So I could see that happening. The other thing I was thinking of, and I doubt it'll happen, and I probably wouldn't want it to, but maybe have Finn Balor win the title, and then, as he comes out just normally, like the following week on SmackDown with his belt, and he gets sort of his arm twisted into a rematch with Roman that night, and Roman takes it back. I hope that doesn't happen, because I want Roman Reigns to have a long reign. Yeah. I want him to hold the belt till at least WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Now then, with him likely facing Brock Lesnar in Saudi Arabia next month, that's a difficult one to predict, really, at the moment. Yeah. But so whether he will get that really long sort of year and a half or whatever it'd be reign, I'm not sure. So before I make my prediction, I'll look at the chat. Ryan says Brock wins at Crown Jewel, presumably. Rod, as the Saudi Prince requests some matches that they want, and it's obvious they want Roman versus Brock at Crown Jewel. Oh, yeah, it's a good payday for Brock, isn't it? That's how we ended up having HBK make a return. Well, yeah, exactly. Though the less said about that awful tag match, the better.
Yes, exactly. It was awful.
Joshua, WWE said if Roman loses the title, he's still facing Brock at Crown Jewel. Well, that'd be I mean, that'd be fair enough if Finn Balor won the title and he held it till at least Crown Jewel, if not beyond. Then just have Roman versus Brock as like a special featured attraction match, but not for a title. Bold HBK doesn't look right. I know. We also still need Brock versus Bobby. Yeah, I mean, we get so close to that, and then I don't know. I'm kind of over wishing for it a little bit now. Especially now Bobby Lashley's not the champion anymore. It's like there's no real jeopardy there. There's nothing that. Anyway, although I can think of a couple of possible scenarios for this match. I do think that Roman Reigns is going to defeat the Demon. Maybe like I say, for me, I think it could be a sort of rather than the Demon getting pinned or even him tapping out, it could be like
pass out.
It'll be like a referee stoppage, pass out kind of thing, I reckon. So maybe as a little bit of protection for that character, but I'm going with Roman Reigns to retain on this one. Right, what's next, Rach?
Well, the next match I've got is the Raw Women's Championship between Charlotte Flair versus Miss Bliss.
Ms. Bliss versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's title. Okay. When did Charlotte win that? Did she win it at SummerSlam? Wasn't it? Yeah. Because Nikki ASH won it at Money in the Bank. Then, Well, the WWE Women's Division. It's a poison chalice at times, isn't it? But Rach, who have you got in the Raw Women's title match?
Well, I don't think Charlotte needs the belt.
No, but she's got it, hasn't she? So,
yeah.
I wouldn't mind so much if she had like quite a long run with it, but she just drops it like sort of a month or 2 months later, and it's like, I know why they're doing it. It's so that, like, you know, she can sort of eventually equal or even surpass her dad's record. But it devalues the titles for me. Just like if you don't hold on to them very long. Sorry, Rach, carry on. It's just me on the soapbox.
I'm loving what they're doing with Miss Bliss at the moment. Yeah, so I'm going to say her, Miss Bliss.
All right, okay. Well, yeah, it's yeah. I can see some logic to that, Rach. Definitely. Bliss says, Rach, Night Owl. Who have you got for this one?
Again, I'm with Rach on this one. I know it seems like, you know, every time Rach votes for one person, I'm voting with her, but I do agree with her. I like what they're doing with Alexa, and I also agree with Joshua. Halloween is coming, and I think the push of the sales of the merch that could come out, they're thinking this whole personal thing with Alexa and Charlotte, her bringing out Lily and stuff like that. They're doing a lot better job portraying this than they did with Shayna Baszler and with Eva Marie and everything else. I think they're doing a way better job promoting this side of it and that character and what it could do to Charlotte, especially like tonight. Like, what are we going to see happen? Or tomorrow night, sorry. What are we going to see happen? So, yeah, I'm definitely going to go with Alexa on this. And I agree, Charlotte does not need that title anymore.
Yeah. But she's got to win it a load more times. You do all realise that.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
She needs it, but yeah.
Not suitable for Mum, our tribal chief.
Right, well, a lot of valid points what I've said. I mean, especially what Joshua was saying. The other thing I think is that they're trying to push Alexa more because of all the controversy that was surrounding when she was getting trolled by so-called fans because, it was her fault that Bray Wyatt's gone, which is a load of bollocks.
It's not her fault.
No, exactly, right? So maybe they're saying, look, you know, Miss Bliss is perfectly capable of standing up on her own. She doesn't need the Fiend to, get ahead, shall we say, or say off the back of somebody else. Yeah. So it would make sense that if they get her to win, she's the baby face, really, isn't she?
Yeah.
You know, for all intents and purposes, anyway. So I would have said, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Stick tight on her. Give her a good run with it, and Charlotte can still go off and do her own thing, right, and still be relevant. She don't, I don't like you said. Charlotte doesn't need the title to be relevant. She could get in quite a number of different stories with other wrestlers before she has another title shot. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with Miss Bliss. I want her to win.
Bliss. So we've got 3 for Bliss then.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all a bit samey tonight.
No. Well. Yeah. If it's like if we either all do well or we all don't really, and if we're all picking the same thing, Lily to get the pin, says Rodders. Lily versus Charlie, the battle of the dollies. Ryan, they may protect Flair because of her dad's recent accusations, maybe. I mean, obviously nothing regarding Dark Side of the Ring or even Ric Flair generally. I think will be referenced on WWE programming. I mean, he got his. Although supposedly he asked for his release, and I kind of understand that. When Flair left a few months ago, I mean, it was only really on a Legends contract anyway. I'm going to be contrary again, just to make things a little bit different. I'm going to say Charlotte Flair to retain. I wish I could care more about this, but I like Bliss. I probably prefer sort of I'm not a massive fan of like the whole sort of like haunted dolly sort of caper, but it's if it might end up selling some merchandise, then fair enough. And the Halloween thing that Joshua and Vicky alluded to is certainly an interesting idea. But just to sort of because it's Charlotte, and if she's not winning a title, then she'll be chasing for one at some point anyway. So I'm just going to say Charlotte Flair to retain this time anyway. Next one, Rach.
It's the United States Championship match. It's a triple threat. Damian Priest versus Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus.
All right, so it's a three-way dance, as they used to call it in ECW, or triple threat for the championship of the United States of America and all the dominions and territories. That's a nice, catchy name for a championship, isn't it? It's Damian Priest defending against previous champion Sheamus, and also Mr. Jeffrey Hardy.
Yeah.
Rach, 3 to choose from here. Who are you going for?
I don't think Jeff's going to win, because I think, hasn't he just come back from injury?
No, I don't think so. No, because he was pissing about in the 24/7 scene for a little bit. Wasn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
They've not really done much with him.
Well, no, that's the prime example. If you don't know what to do with someone, you just put them with like bloody all the ninjas and R-Truth and everyone in that stupid 24/7 thing. That's an absolute waste of TV airtime for me. But anyway,
it was all right when it started. It's fizzled out now.
I just thought it was cretinous. I didn't rate it at all from the start. It was like the roll-up title, like. Not even hardcore about it. It's just
but no, it was
totally exposes the business. Something I don't want to go all Jim Cornette or anything, but a title like that and a segment like that. I mean, it's just so difficult to suspend your disbelief. Really, for shit like that. Ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm hoping Drake Maverick will install some much needed oomph back into it, like he did when he first did it.
I disagree. Like, that's bollocks. I don't think anyone should be anywhere near that, because I think it's a stupid division and it should be axed.
Yeah.
Like, why should you lumber? I mean, I'm no big Drake Maverick fan, but why should you lumber him with it?
But he did. I'm just saying, you did a good job at the beginning with it.
No, he didn't do a good job, because there's nothing to do in it. It's just totally stupid.
All right, whatever.
Okay.
Well, all right. So you tell me the good things about the 24/7 division, because I can't think of any.
Right. I will admit, right, it's not that great.
That's not telling me that's not telling me a positive.
Okay,
that's
hang on.
Sort of backtracking.
Yeah. Right. No, it was the whole concept when he came up with those wanted posters and stuff. Yes, it's gimmicky. Yes, it's not wrestling, right, as we want it to be. But I think when it came out, everyone knew it was going to be a comedy title. Right? People knew that.
Yeah.
So I think I think I accepted it for what it was. And I think both Drake Maverick and
that's the problem. If we're going to accept crap, then like that's what we're going to get. You go to a restaurant and you ask for a plate of shit, then like it's your own fault. It's your own fault when like what you're eating for your dinner is a big plate of shit.
Yeah.
It's the same with wrestling. I don't think it should be accepted. I think if a segment or a gimmick or a division is completely shit, we shouldn't just say, it's for comedic, but it's not for comedic. But if I want comedy, I can think of like 1,000 just off the top of my head right now places I'd rather go than WWE Raw's 24/7 division. I think it's absolutely wank. There's no point. It's a waste of airtime.
Yeah,
it is. Rodder says it's a piece of marketing genius from WWE. Or genius is like that's using the word genius in like completely the wrong way. It has been displayed on many other shows due to celebrity. Now, right. The thing is, like, I know this is like Vince McMahon's mindset. He's always looking for that celebrity rub, that rub from other mainstream media outlets, right? Yeah. Are we forgetting about what happened to Raw over the past year or so? It's had its lowest ratings ever.
Yeah.
So don't you think, like, instead of concentrating on all the celebrities and the comedy that isn't funny, I've been to funnier funerals. Shouldn't they concentrate on actually producing a good weekly wrestling show?
Yeah, I mean, that's a fair point.
I don't know why I'm having to sort of like defend. I feel like I'm defending an opinion that I thought like any sane wrestling fan would have. But like, we don't. In 2021, we don't need a 24/7 division. We never needed it.
Yeah, I would have liked to have had a hardcore title, not necessarily 24/7 rules, but a hardcore title back again.
Yeah, exactly. It's a PG version of hardcore title, but that's an anomaly in of itself. Like, how can you have a PG version of hardcore? Like,
that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know it gives people like R-Truth, but you can give R-Truth anything to do. I mean, like, he is like quite a humorous guy generally.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I'm not gonna big up the 24/7 division, but R-Truth, for what he is now to WWE, fair. He's someone who can sort of raise a wry smile occasionally, but it doesn't mean that like we need to build a whole comedic PG for kiddies and for
I think that's probably why
division around him.
Yeah, I think that's possibly why it's not on TV as much as it was.
Because, I mean, it's at least we're not getting it sort of shoved down our throats, and that's a good thing. I mean, if you can call that a positive about it, but I still think why bother? Yeah, it's
anyway
ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even know if Rach even made a prediction.
No, I was just going to say.
Going on saying, I love the 24/7 division. It's my favourite.
I hate the 24/7 division. Oh, it sucks. It's a pile of shite. We'll agree to disagree on that one, mate. Anyway, Rachel.
I picked Damian Priest, by the way.
That's what she's going to say.
Damian Priest. I thought you were going to pick Jeff Hardy. All right, Damian Priest. Fair enough. All right, celebrities bring in viewership. Bad Bunny got them great rated.
Bad Bunny was a load of bollocks.
Well, see, there you go, Jay. So there'll be some people who disagree with that.
Yeah, I disagree with that because I think he did a pretty damn good job compared to prior celebrities that they had.
Or no, Jason's backtracking again.
No, right.
Look at what Snoop Dogg did.
He was ass as well. He was ass as well.
No, but he was ass. But some of the moves that Bad Bunny made, like he actually came in and trained for months.
Yeah, he did a very weak.
He did a better job than most celebrities besides Stephen Amell. And I think those are the two top celebrities that have come in and actually wrestled.
Do you know who I thought was quite good?
But I don't want to get off on another tangent. We'll agree to disagree.
All I say is
Pat McAfee. Shut up, Vicky. That's what we always say.
Pat McAfee.
You're far too patient with him.
Right,
you've already disgraced yourself by coming out as a 24/7 lover tonight, Jace. So, in fact, Vicky's resorted to picking her pick in the chat. She picked Jeff Hardy. Yeah, she's so upset by all your 24/7 revelations, Jace. And now you're criticising Bad Bunny. Yeah, Bad Bunny was what it was. I mean, that was it's been and gone. He brought in a big viewership from the Latin community. Yeah, he might have made the difference to a few sort of network or Peacock subs. I think as far as Raw goes, as a weekly TV series, and don't forget Raw is Raw and SmackDown is where the money is at for WWE now. So for me, if I had a wrestling company, I was receiving the money that I was getting for Raw, and I was putting that 3-hour show together every week. Generally, I know it's improved recently, but I'm on about sort of of the past couple of years or more. I'd be thoroughly ashamed of myself.
Yeah,
just putting out such rubbish and then expecting to be paid millions and millions of dollars every year by a network who are carrying it. Yeah. Absolutely. But Jeff Hardy says Vicky. Right. So
can I just say something though about that though?
Yeah, sure.
The reason I picked Jeff Hardy is because of the fact that now I don't like the 24/7 championship either. I do think it's pointless and everything else, honestly. And putting Jeff Hardy in that really upset me that they would put him, who is a legendary wrestler who brought in the extreme stuff with jumping off ladders and stuff, with his brother.
I'm going back sort of like 11, 12 years. It was the biggest baby face in WWE for a little bit. Like more people, he was the guy who everyone cheered, and obviously John Cena and people were being pushed, better really. But Jeff Hardy was absolutely over like Rover for a while in sort of late noughties, turn of the century. Yeah.
But so that's why I'm going with him, because once they did, I think WWE realized their mistake in putting him in that kind of position. And I think them putting him in this triple threat match, I think was a tremendous idea. Although Damian Priest, because he's a baby face now, he's the new baby face. I think that Jeff Hardy's going to take it off him. I will do more talking about it, but I love it. And I think Jeff Hardy should win.
Okay, yeah, completely agree with that, Vicky. Here's someone who I take no displeasure in constantly disagreeing with. It's Mr. 24/7 himself, although when you call Jason Mr. 24/7, it mainly refers to laboratorial habits.
We didn't see that one coming.
Well, stick with what you know. I know the material, it's well-worn, but your underpants, Jace. But
I was going to say something similar about you, but there you are. Right, okay.
You're forgetting, Jason, this might not be quick last night, but I can still mute you anytime I want.
Yes, I know. Right, anyway. It's a difficult one. I don't think Sheamus is going to win straight out. I don't think that's going to happen. It does feel a little bit last minute that they've put Jeff in this match, though.
Well, yeah, because it was just a one-on-one for quite a while, wasn't it? And then
I'd like Jeff to win. I think he deserves to have a title on him again. He stayed clean, didn't he?
Yeah. As far as
for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
The only thing is, how long has Damien had the title for?
A couple of months or so. I remember beating Sheamus for it. Was it Money in the Bank, or was it before that?
I think it was Money in the Bank.
It was Money in the Bank. So he's not been champion overly long. He could do with it.
I'm just trying to use a bit of WWE's matchmakers. They're trying to use their logic, which obviously they don't have any. But
no.
You know what? I'm going to go for Jeff as well. It probably won't
happen,
for
Jeff,
I'm going to go for
and
Jeff.
One for Damian Priest. Although I thought, Rach, you were leaning towards Jeff originally. I don't know if like the argument me and Jason was, I'd managed to sway you at all.
Sorry.
Ryan says, speaking of Stephen Amell, the show Heels is good. I've heard of that show. Yeah, Stephen Amell, I think he's someone who, obviously is more people associate him more with acting, but he was someone, I think, when he decided he wanted to do some wrestling, he did really throw himself into it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he's quite pally with Cody Rhodes, I think, isn't it? So I won't be surprised. In fact, has he shown up in AEW already, Stephen Amell? I thought he had. Yeah, I thought he had. He's not someone I particularly know, but Rodders hadn't watched that yet. Normally wait for shows to finish and then binge them. Priest has only held it for 34 days. So that it's since SummerSlam then.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Oh wow! It's even sooner than it does feel like he's been champion a little bit longer than that. But fair enough. Fair enough. Thank you for that, Joshua. Like Jeff Hardy, like I say, you can class him as a legend in the business now. He's been good. I've watched old episodes of Raw from the mid '90s on the network. Yeah. You've seen him there. He looks about 13 years old there as a little jobber guy. it's astonishing quite how long he's actually worked for that company. Really, I mean, on and off in more recent years, he's had a couple of stints in TNA, obviously.
Yeah.
But
the things he's done as well, that he still continues to do.
Yeah, I don't think Jeff's ever going to get another world title run in WWE, and fair enough. I think he deserves better than certainly the 24/7 division. And this is probably a bit of a compromise, really, but it's not a bad one. Sheamus there again, he's another former world champion who I can't necessarily, although he's a little bit younger than Jeff, I think. I can't necessarily see him get another world title push in WWE. Stranger things have happened, we know, but I think I'm going to go with Damian Priest here, just because I think out of the three, he's the one who needs this win. It's against two sort of more veteran guys. Everyone loves Jeff, obviously. We don't really need to see Sheamus regain this title so quick, not if at all, really. So I'm picking Damian Priest for this to retain, I think. Right, so on we go. We seem to have spent a long time on that, but we did have a bit of a diversion, Jason.
Blame me. That's right.
I mean, I'm just trying to count how many matches we. Oh yeah, we've got one more match. Yep. Okay, and that is
the SmackDown Women's Championship between Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belaire.
Right, okay. SmackDown Women's title, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belaire. Now, just before we go to predictions, I liked SummerSlam. We haven't really talked about SummerSlam because we didn't do the results, and therefore I didn't really want to dwell on it too much, but I liked SummerSlam. I thought it was a really strong card throughout. But one thing I didn't like was how Becky Lynch came back and won that title.
Yeah, I agree.
Just made Bianca Belaire come across like a complete jobber. Someone she was in the main event of the first night at WrestleMania, for crying out loud. Bianca Belaire won the title. A really lovely, good match as well against Sasha Banks at Mania. And to have her treated like a glorified jobber at SummerSlam. And the thing, Becky got a good pop because she'd returned after maternity leave and everything. Fair enough, but we intended to turn a heel anyway, so the pop, but like she's gonna go heel regardless. So what? Bring her back some other way. Like you could have brought her back and just sort of had a maybe beat down Bianca after Bianca defeated. Well, it would have been Carmela, I suppose, because they did the whole bait and switch thing where they knew Sasha Banks wasn't going to be in the match, but they advertised her as being the challenger. Yeah. So there's plenty of other ways they could have brought Becky back and not made Belaire look like a chump, really. But Rach, who have you got in this one?
Do I think they're going to take it off Becky so soon? I don't know. I think Bianca does deserve to regain the championship.
Mm.
But I can't see him taking it off Becky.
Mm.
I'm going to say Bianca wins, but through not by DQ. Bianca wins by DQ.
Yeah. So that'll be if Bianca Belaire wins. However, then you get the point. Obviously, because we don't sort of specify whether it's like for a DQ or a count out or pin or whatever. So Bianca but via DQ, says Rach. Just have a quick look at the chat before I go to Vicky. Bianca to win. She was shat on losing to Becky and say, yeah, exactly, Rodders. Totally agree. Belaire to win, says Ryan. Rodders, this entire match card is very few stipulation matches, which sucks for a pay-per-view called Extreme Rules. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. I think in an event like this, a themed event, they should always have a couple of sort of straight wrestling matches. Yeah. But just so it's not overkill on all the sort of hardcore type stuff. Yeah. But I do agree. I think there needs to be way more extreme type matches than there is, because it's like, what?
Well, especially when Jeff Hardy's involved.
But don't forget that's a triple threat.
Well, yeah, triple threat, is generally no DQ, but it still sounds like it'll probably be laid out like a traditional, not traditional, but a non-stipulated three-way wrestling match. Hopefully, they might bring ladders into it or something with Jeff being in it. So you never know. It'll be. I think that'll make it more interesting. But So Vicky, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair.
I half agree with what Rach said. I'm gonna go with Bianca as well. But seeing as how they took the title away from her at SummerSlam, I do agree with you. I think it was the worst way to do it. I understand that they're turning her heel, but they could have done the same thing with her. The way that they did with Brock Lesnar when he came out was nose to nose with Roman, but then he took out John Cena at the end by giving a couple F5s or whatever you want to call them. You know what I mean? So for me, like I said, I'm going to go for Bianca, but I think that she deserves to have this back. After everything that happened, I don't think it should have went down that way. I was really ticked. I was watching it with Steve, and I was just going, "What the heck was that?"
Yeah.
It's one of the worst endings to a pay-per-view I've seen in forever.
And it just the way they sort of scripted Bianca, react like, we're lost, I'm annoyed, but. It's just she looked kind of like she made her look gormless, like I've been out funk here, I've been made to look a real chump. It's I get it, Becky coming back was a big deal, but they could have done it in a much better way.
Absolutely.
All right, so Jason, it's your turn to predict.
Yeah, I mean everything said about the way Bianca lost the title, I think it was wrong. I like, Becky's great. Don't get me wrong, but could have built something up into it, and then Bianca, have 2 or 3 matches, and then
it's another hot shot in it. It's like, Becky's back today.
Yeah.
Let's give the title. Not like Becky's back. Let's sort of build a really good program between the two, and even like a month or 3 months or whatever.
They could have built it up to now.
Vincent Young's shooting his bolt again, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right, they could have had an Extreme Rules match here for the title, then Becky wins it tonight, not in 26 seconds or whatever it was, some ridiculous thing. Yeah, it was just dumb.
Yeah,
it made no sense. No sense
in it. It didn't make Becky look any good. I mean, people cheered when she came out because it's Becky, she's back, and exactly. It didn't help the heel turn because there's so many other ways you can turn someone heel anyway. Like you didn't have to do it where you're just making a title worthless and the person who's carried the title since WrestleMania worthless. That's all it achieved.
Yeah, I agree.
And it made Carmela look how it made her look too.
Yeah, I mean, I weren't too worried about that because I don't rate Carmela massively, but it's that's a fair point to make, Vicky. It's obvious it shows that there's an obvious pecking order, and Carmela is mid card. It's sorry, I'm sort of
no, it's all right, mate.
Interrupting Jason, but it brings me on to an interesting point about AEW, and I think it's only a rumor at this point, but apparently they're bringing in soon a women's mid card title. I think
I've heard about that.
Yeah, they're going to call it the TBS title, so it's going to be like a companion to the TNT one, but it's going to be a women's title. And it did raise the point that I've thought about it occasionally. It's like there's never really been an equivalent, a women's equivalent, something like the Intercontinental or US title.
No, there isn't.
Yeah.
And you can see why. If a women's roster is really thin and everything, but something like that for people like the Carmelas and the Liv Morgans of the company. I mean, they're not women's world title caliber, but it's either that, the women's tag team titles, and the less said about them, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
At the moment, or nothing really. And I just think it's interesting that AEW, and for as much as I've praised AEW recently, I don't think their women's division has been massively strong generally. I think they're making improvements here and there, but it's going to be interesting if these rumours of this TBS championship being a women's, like a mid-card women's belt, like a women's TV title kind of thing, that I think that'd be something new. Really, we've not really. I don't recall seeing it at all in American wrestling anyway. But anyway, sorry, Jason, you haven't made your prediction yet.
Yeah. It's a tough one though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Logic would say that they're probably going to keep it on Becky, right? Because that's just what they're doing, right? And, you know, as much logic has given it to her the way they did in the first place. I do want Bianca to get it back. I think she was, well, yeah, she was screwed over basically.
Yeah.
Right, and again with this hype that they've done with the things they did with Kane and all the rest of it, blah 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 blah. So, where are they going with that? Oh crikey!
Yeah, it's a tough one.
As much as it pains me to say it, I'm gonna have to go with Becky.
Becky to retain, okay? Yeah, it's possibly the most difficult match to predict because there's such a strong feeling that, like, you know, Bianca needs to win. If she loses, you know, twice in a row, even if she has like a much better match and a longer match, and she puts on a good showing against Becky, if she loses this one, then it's kind of, you know, it might be curtains for her as like as a sort of women's main eventer sort of thing. But let me just have a look at the chat. Yeah, Becky winning the titles very last minute. Bianca just got given the key to her city. Yeah, it's one of those things you can tell when you're watching it. It's like, oh, they've decided on this. Sort of, you know, they knew, you know, they've got Becky to come back because I think originally she weren't supposed to be due back till October, and then they brought her back in August. You know, and then obviously, oh right, okay, now we brought you back, we'll give you the title tonight. Yeah. They want the fans to boo Becky. She's a heel now. Technically got what they wanted. Yeah. Joshua, the women's tag titles need replacing. I'd just unify them with the NXT one. If I don't know what, I don't know why they brought out an NXT women's tag team championships when they weren't doing anything with the WWE ones, because they should have just had those defended across all three brands anyway, including NXT. Yeah. It was just it's too many titles. I like a good title. I like a good belt. We won't go back to the 24/7 one, obviously. You know, I don't want to make Jason cry again. But it is a lot of titles, and you know, I know it's over like, you know, 3 brands really. You know, well, I suppose 4 if you're including NXT UK. But you know, God knows what the future holds for that. But I've got to make a prediction here, haven't I? I mean, it's not going to be a particularly lengthy run for Becky if she loses it, but at the precise moment in time, I don't care. I care more about, you know, just the shabby treatment of Belaire last month.
Just remember,
you know, it would go some way. I mean, it won't forever erase the stain of SummerSlam and on her career, obviously, but it will go some way into the company redeeming themselves for, you know, the way she was just, you know, told to job out like that at SummerSlam. So
I want you to consider one thing, mate, before you decide.
Okay.
Don't forget the draft.
Yeah,
Bianca could get drafted.
Yeah, so some of these people who, like, we were sort of wanting to win. You know, it could be like Bianca could head over to Raw, even Becky could lose and then head over to Raw. You know, so it's a good point. You know, without trying to focus too much on that. I mean, I was. See, before you said that, I was leaning one way, and now I'm sort of like.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Slightly edging back, but I mean, I think I'm going to go with my heart here. I'm still going to say Bianca Belaire to win it back. Okay. And you know, they might do a bit of, and I don't like it. I said it earlier on. I don't like sort of, you know, like fast title changes. And and champions not being championed for very long, but they could do like a bit of, passing the belt back and forth, a bit of hot potato with it. Even between now and the draft, you never know. I mean, there's nothing to stop there ever being a title change on Smackdown at all. Bianca Belaire. Just even though now you've reminded me about the draft, I'm thinking, well, if Bianca loses, then draft her to Raw, and then she's got people like Charlotte Flair to go up against for and hopefully do good things with over on Mondays. But I'm not changing my mind. It's Bianca Belaire, and that's all the matches in it, Rach.
Yeah, that's all the matches.
So not a lot of matches announced, but
no Raw men's Raw title match.
No, because we know Biggie cashed in and he won, and that's all well and good. But it's unless they announce something sort of on the night itself.
Yeah, I mean six matches is nothing, is it?
No, so so it looks like at the moment, if it stays as 6 matches, the all-time classic Liv Morgan versus Carmela shouldn't get caught, and that's great news for all of us, isn't it? Yeah. Draft is next Friday. Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting if there was a title change on the draft, on the SmackDown draft episode itself. Having main roster women's teams go down to get titles from current women's champs in NXT, I like it. Yeah. But I mean, with NXT changing back to being really more of a developmental, fully developmental thing now, I think that sort of thing's even less likely than it was before, sadly.
Yeah.
Biggie versus Bobby Riemer. Yeah, they ought to have one. I mean, I don't think Bobby Lashley's in. I know MVP's out for a little bit, but Bobby Lashley's not injured, is he?
No. He came out on Raw this week.
Yeah.
You had the triple threat match, didn't you?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, of course he did. So that's it. That's Extreme Rules predicted. So like I say, next time we'll be doing the wrestling stream will be, I think, Wednesday the 20th of October, but I'll certainly remind the panelists about that nearer the time, as it's a bit of a funny one, it being sort of midweek, really. Yeah. And I want to say thank you to the panelists, as always, Rachel, Vicky, and Jason Clow. Thank you for joining me again. Vicky and Jace have got lots more wrestling to discuss. So, go and give the Night Owl a follow on YouTube and Twitch right now, and then you can join in with all that if you want to talk more wrestling. And it's a good show. Vicky has invited me to be on the thing, but and I will come and do a guest spot with you one day, Vicky. But I couldn't do it tonight. I'm just ready for a cup of tea and just sort of shut up for the rest of the week now. But
and he goes on about me being an old man, and look at him.
yeah. I'll try and stick my head in at some point later on, Vicky, just to insult Jason in the chat. Okay, so
absolutely, I'll be ready for it.
Yeah, so everyone go and give Vicky a watch, because she's going to be talking about all sorts of stuff, not just WWE, and that'll be a lot of fun for any wrestling fan. But that's going to be it for this channel and for us here tonight. So thank you again to the panelists. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. And we'll see you for the predictions for Crown Jewel, the Saudi pay-per-view. That will be something, won't it? Right.
Yeah,
cheers, everyone.